Come on. Every time. This is what we have to deal with right here. Every time.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's Michael from Road JMR.
Jonathan.
And yeah, another our 3 cents. It was going to be a midnight movie madness, but this little booger, this little sugar booger right here had to get sick.
Yep.
And I have to put eye drops in her eyes every 2 hours on the dot, so we couldn't even go to the movies today because
it would have been pushing it.
Yeah.
Really pushing it to be able to make it on that 2-hour time frame. Especially since it's the first day, we don't want to be late like that.
So yeah. So instead, we decided to watch something here at home. Something we mentioned in the last review that we did. And that is the movie that Janet Mawson of the New York Times calls a crisp, suspenseful thriller. Toy Soldiers. A lot of you are probably like, what? What's that? Well, it's Toy Soldiers.
Yeah.
It's Louis Gossett Jr., Sheen Austin, let's see, who else? Keith Coogan, Andrew Divoff, Denham Ellett, Louis Gossett Jr., as I said, Will Wheaton, and that's all pretty much the main cast.
Yeah. Pretty
much all. Keith Coogan, who of course you know from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and what was that other one he was in? Adventures in Babysitting. And then
that's where I know him from.
Yeah, he's that guy right there.
Oh my god, I was trying to figure out the entire damn movie.
And
it's literally
we have the poster for the movie right there.
It's literally staring me in the face.
It's that guy right there.
Oh my god, I feel like an idiot. Wow.
So yeah, let's readjust this. Sorry, folks, but yeah. And Will Wheaton, of course, of Big Bang Theory. Oh yeah, and he was in a little show called Star Trek.
He was also in this little movie that you may have seen called Stand By Me.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the first time Jonathan had ever seen this movie. I've been talking about this movie for years, and he's never watched it. So, what did you think?
It wasn't bad. It was very good. It really was. I enjoyed the way they did it because it was like they didn't try to make it anything more than it was. They didn't try to go any bigger than they should have. They kept it at just the right amount of action, just the right amount of drama. You know, it's like they knew what they had. It's like, okay, terrorists are taking over a prep school with some people that are just kind of rebellious. But, you know, the kids had no military training or anything like that. They were just smart kids that knew the school and knew what they were, and had a really simple plan of what they were doing. You know, and it worked. So, I liked it. And Sean Austin is... I mean, it's Sean Austin. He's just fantastic. He's just good in everything. So.
And Louis Gossett Jr., of course, is, you know,
awesome.
The same character that he always plays.
Yeah.
And
pretty much.
And so a little bit different than Mastermind.
Yes.
I mean, not besides the fact that this is a pretty bloody and violent movie for 1991, especially.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty violent. Still same kind of premise. It's just a different solution to the problem. So,
a group of kids this time instead of just one wreaking havoc. But you know, stakes were a little bit higher.
Yep.
For this one. kind of an intense movie in spots. Like that part where he's sneaking out, that got really, really tense there.
Mm-hmm.
So, they did a very good job of building that, though. They did a good job of building up the tension when it needed to, and doing it subtly. So, I really enjoyed that. Again, just, I don't know, it was like the filmmakers knew what they had. They knew that this wasn't going to be anything huge, and they didn't try to make it anything bigger than it was. And I really like that. I hate it when filmmakers have a simple premise or a simple concept, but try to make it huge, and then it blows everything out of proportion.
And it's based on a novel. I don't know what the actual book is called. I'm afraid. I noticed that during the credits today that it's based on a novel by William P. Kennedy. So I'll have to look up and see what that book is called. But I always enjoyed this movie. I always just thought it was like a fun movie to watch. I mean, obviously, kids are in peril, and that's weird. But just the brains behind the guys, they were just common-ish, regular, everyday kids. I mean, they just all happen to be super wealthy. So. Or come from wealthy, affluent families, but they just had a plan, decided to go for it, and fortunately for them, it worked out. You know, very, very few collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, except for that one guy. That was so sad. But if you ever thought Will Wheaton was just his character from Star Trek, no, he's not.
No, he is not.
Not at all. Unfortunately, child actors, that's what they get kind of cast in a major show, and that's all you see him as, but...
He definitely had some range.
Yep.
So.
For sure.
And one of the things that I really liked is that they had this plan, and everybody had their own part in it, but it's like the skills that they were combining were stuff that it wasn't anything spectacular. They had a guy that could draw, so he drew the faces of what these people look like. You know, they had some guys that just went around and were counting. They had one guy who happened to know about weapons. You know, they had a guy who knew a little bit about electronics.
Yep.
And it wasn't for... And then I like that it wasn't like he was a computer expert or anything. He liked remote control airplanes. So that's what he knew about. And it just happened to be the information that they needed.
Yeah.
You know, it was the 90s. A lot of kids knew about remote controls.
Yeah.
And they knew about, you know, so all of the quote unquote skills that these kids had made sense, made perfect sense, you know?
And it's first time, really, you see H1s in film.
Which ones?
The H1s, the Hummers.
Oh, yeah.
The military grade Hummers. That's the first time I ever remember seeing them, for sure. That I can recall. But getting to see Sean Austin's character, Billy, driving one of those Hummers, being chased by two other Hummers. And just
awesome.
driving through the forest and just sliding around. It's like, yes, that's what I want to do. Yes. But I always thought it was a great film. I always enjoyed it. It's one of those ones that I can go back once a year or something and watch and just have fun with. But again, a lot of people don't even know this movie, so which is quite unfortunate considering, you know, all the big name people that are in it, you know, 26 years later, are huge. A lot of this cast is blown up and it's huge. So,
I favorably compared it when it first started really getting in story, and I'm not using this as an insult. Believe me, if you know me, you know that this would not be an insult. It's kind of a scaled down version of Red Dawn. And I say that I love because Red Dawn, I love that movie. It's probably in my top 10. It's scaled down in the sense that instead of an entire city, it's just a school, and instead of trying to start World War III, they're just honestly they're just trying to get some guy out of jail.
Yeah.
But it
Very simple premise.
yeah it had kind of a similar feel in that way. It actually kind of makes me want to watch Red Dawn.
You should see if it's on. You should see if it's on a streamer.
I own it.
See.
I own it.
That's right. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
in your room if you decide you want to watch it, or if you want to watch it out here, whatever's.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. So, if you got 112 minutes to kill and you want a fun little action flick, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. There it is, right there. So, that's all I got to say.
Yep.
And hopefully next week we'll be able to bring you an actual new movie release, providing this one's better. So,
Not sure what it's going to be. Don't know what comes out next week. Well, I know what comes out next week, but we're avoiding the theater because we're going on Christmas.
yep.
So we'll see.
It will not be Star Wars.
It
next
will
week.
not be Star Wars. We're waiting.
Yep.
Maybe we'll go see Gotti. That starts on the same day.
Maybe.
That'll be good. I'm looking forward to that.
So, that's it. I hope you enjoyed Toy Soldiers. So,
I did, and we'll see where we're going to go next. We seem to be stuck on a prep school theme, so
Yep.
who knows? And by the way, another movie that's never really gotten a proper release.
mm-hmm.
Never been released on Blu-ray as far as I know. And, I mean, this is only a widescreen release, or a full screen release
Yeah.
too. They didn't even release it in widescreen.
Maybe in going with our prep school theme, maybe we'll go with Cruel Intentions 2, Manchester Prep.
I was thinking School Ties.
Ooh, that'll be a good one too. So,
Again, never gotten a proper release. So, all right.
All right. Blessed be. Good night.